And we're live. Hello, fishing guy. It's the only person in the chat right now.
Hello, fishing guy.
Yeah, first and only right now.
I'll give everybody a few minutes. They'll come in.
Yeah, let's get up to start the news. There was many more people than two on here, but I don't know where the fuck they are. So
Eh, who
I'll
knows?
post the link later on in the chat anyway. Get more people
Yeah.
in. Let's get this shit done. Brexit petition to revoke Article 50. It's 5 million signatures. See, with this, I don't believe this is true. I think this is complete bullshit. There has to be something up with this. And clearly.
I'd kind of like to see an audit of the names. Got to
Well,
kind of wonder how many times.
they said they already checked all the bots and stuff like that, but I don't think they did.
Yeah, kind of wonder how many times Mickey Mouse signed the petition.
And plus, they also said like, oh, like there was only like 1 million signatures from other parts of Europe. Well, it's 4 million then, really, isn't it? It should only like count UK people.
Yeah, is that the change.org petition?
It's the government petition itself,
Oh, okay.
because in the UK, governments can have their own petition on the government website. I don't know if it's the same with the US or whatever, but calls to put brakes on the UK is an exit to the EU is the most popular petition ever on the Parliament website. It's asking for the British government to revoke Article 50 and reconsider the plan of the European Union at about 5 million mark someday. So yeah, the rest is just news I read yesterday. So I think it's true though.
I'm suspicious.
So am I. First millennial was running for president, so was a 76-year-old. Oh,
First,
the first millennial was running for president, so was a 76-year-old.
that must be Robert O'Rourke and I'll guess Joe Biden.
I was thinking Bernie Sanders, but Bernie Sanders is older now, isn't he?
Bernie Sanders, he's in his 70s. I know that. Was it Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, and Elizabeth Warren, I believe, is in her 70s.
Hello, Rowan. Rowan. South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, fuck knows, fallen, makes pitch on why he mayor of the fourth largest city in Indiana should get a serious look from voters who want to unseat Donald Trump. He points directly to his lack of wrinkles. So just because he's young, he thinks he should get. That's pretty much what he said. He's a young guy,
Can't
not
get
an old
any
guy.
worse than the last couple of presidents.
He's a young guy, not an old guy, and to fallen, that's the point. You look at me, my face. You look at me, my face is my message, right? A lot of that is simply the idea we need a generational change. We need more voices stepping up from a generation. So much at stake. Decisions are being made right now. Ford, who was born in 1982, would be the first millennial president candidate. if you go by the Pew definition. No, Rowan is 35 to be president in America.
Rowan, you have to be 35.
Yeah, this is a red snow state. It's not that exciting.
Yeah. The only two actual requirements to be president of the U.S., you have to be a born U.S. citizen, and you have to be 35. That's it.
Apparently, you don't even have to be born in the US. Apparently, it's if your parents are born in the US as well, and you've lived there for more than 14 years.
Well, that's what I mean. Born U.S. citizen. You don't have to be born in the U.S. John McCain ran. He wasn't. He was born in Germany, I believe it was. Whether or not you believe Obama was born in Kenya or whatever, his mother was still a U.S. citizen. Therefore, he is a natural born U.S. citizen.
Yeah. Like, he was born in Hawaii, so he'd be American anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, but it didn't matter where he was born. I mean, it really didn't matter where he was born. He was born. His mother was a citizen, even though his father wasn't. But you just need one.
Yeah. You go by the Pew definition. He's up against Bernie Sanders, who, like political pundit Joe Biden, comes from the Starlet generation born before the end of World War II, along with the baby boomers and Gen Xers in between. It's a four-generation spread unseen in modern presidential politics. So Bernie Sanders is 77. Well, I wasn't far off.
Wow, that list is going, huh? I don't recall if any Republicans had actually announced yet, have they?
I think it's just going to be Trump.
Mm-hmm. I know half of those Democrats, Trump's going to wipe the floor with them.
It's Trump's to lose, as far as I'm concerned. But unless he seriously fucks up, I don't see him winning again. I don't see him not winning.
True, especially after that. Especially after the Mueller thing dropped yesterday. Yeah, and we like I said yesterday, we don't know what's in it, but if there's no new charges, he's pretty much as good as cleared.
Yeah, Rowan, I agree. Do you have any substance though? What are your policy positions? I don't give a shit if you're a fucking mouth breathing millennial. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how fucking old you are, what the policies are. Generations change slowly. There are different definitions for when they start and stop. This is the first full year of presidents to reach the consistently mandated age 31 to take place in his office. O.C. Gilbert, the Hawaiian congressman, who is 37, also grew up in the same year as Foreign, but she was born in 1981, technically the last year of Gen X, according to Pew. They're born younger than Sanders. They're both today younger than Sanders, who came into the world a few months before the attacks on Pearl Harbor. Was when they were born. Yes, cryptic penis. Changing of the old god. What are you gonna say?
I was going to say, it's gotten to where I've actually heard by the time 2020 comes around, there's going to be kids that were born after the World Trade Center attack in the U.S. who will be voting for the first time. And there's a lot of people worried about that because they just don't remember that kind of stuff happening. They don't remember the USS Cole. Exactly. They don't remember the USS Cole. They don't remember the first Trade Center bombing. They just don't remember any of that. We've actually had a very good last 15 years, and they're not going to. They don't know anything bad happening, so they see everything as bad.
Well, yeah, because they only live in post 9/11, so
yeah.
And I'm very much the same. I don't really remember much. I don't really remember 9/11 that much, so
I
barely remember it myself. So
yeah.
I was only about 5 at the time.
was going to say, I'm definitely showing my age when this happened, or showing my age, but when 9/11 happened, I didn't directly witness the Pentagon, but I saw the plane go overhead and I heard it and I heard it crash because I was probably about a half mile away from the Pentagon that
Jesus fuck.
day. So, but the newest generation that's getting ready to start voting, they just don't remember it.
Changing of the old guard has been a consistent theme for Democrats this year. The sweep of control of the House of Representatives from a diverse new army of millennial lawmakers. That doesn't sound good. Which figure out as Representative AOC of New York, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and a California Democrat who's also a silent generation politician. Well, how does that count as a sweeping of the generation then? If she's from the same generation as Bernie and the other guy, then
Yeah, she is.
and she's not new, is she? Then really,
No, but she's actually the Nancy Pelosi is the most modern politician. She changes her position on whichever way the wind's blowing. It can be argued she was worse than Hillary Clinton on that.
I'll just go as if whatever party says. Doesn't think for herself. Sounds
Yeah.
about right. Okay, I might just stick the link in the chat. Nobody else is here, so come on, paste. Paste. There we go. We're a bit psychedelic now.
No worries. No worries. Rowan, the way the shootings are looked at in the U.S., unless it's directly in your town or near you within a certain distance, as opposed to many, most people just don't care. It's the ones who see it as a political opportunity are the ones that yell the most.
We have Rowan on the chat.
Hello, Rowan.
You have no idea how hard it was to piece together that sentence while hearing it on the stream and in the call.
It happens.
Yeah, that's why I muted it.
Yeah, but I had you to start the sentence anyway, so I had to listen to both at the same time to keep up with it.
Huh. Let's keep our leadership in part by promising it to adhere to new self-imposed leadership term limits. What are we going to say? Rowan,
Term limits?
I don't have a problem if, like, with younger people being, like, in politics, but it's when they just jump in and be like, I'm a millennial, vote for me. Now, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a shit. Like, at least Bernie offers something. You know, he's fucking, like I'm pretty sure he saw the pyramids getting built, but at least he has something to work with.
Yeah, we know what he wants.
Yeah.
People know what his policies are. Same with Trump.
Yeah. He has a history.
With this guy, you don't know what he's going to do. He's just going, I'm young, vote for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Trump actually has Trump actually had a history that translates really well over to politics. Being a businessman.
Yeah, because that's what I thought when you get it, he'd run it like a business.
Yeah, and the big argument up until the point Trump was elected is if you ran the country or if you ran your business the way other politicians ran the country, the business would be out of business quickly. So that's what Trump's working. That's what Trump's actually working to do.
True.
Now, I'm not particularly fond of.
Hey, but let's reach the point where there's more people on the chat than there's viewers. Oh well. Sort it on.
Yeah.
Why don't you drop a hangout link in the chat?
Nobody else is here. May as well. Trump was born the first year after the baby being according to Pew. That's the same generation as Barack Obama, who was born in 1961. And Kamala Harris was born in nobody really cares. Yeah, it's basically just people from politics in different generations now. which probably has always been the case anyway.
In
Can't imagine there's ever been a time when that wasn't the thing.
In 2016, Trump promised change, and that's what people wanted after 8 years of Obama saying he'll do shit and doing fuck all. Like, yeah, saying you're gonna, bring in gun laws is good, is fine and all, but if you're not gonna do it, what's the point? Don't fucking talk to us. Don't say anything.
Yeah, so if we got another Scottish person on, we can carry on the conversation.
Trump actually has enacted gun laws, and it's made him really unpopular in some sense. And actually started a big joke on it as well. He actually instituted that bump stock ban.
Yeah, which is, I think it's fair. I think it's reasonable, honestly.
It's reasonable to a point, but it's reasonable to where I personally don't own a bump stock. I never would. I know pretty much the purpose of how the thing works, but I also know you can hook your thumb onto a belt loop for the same effect. And all rapid fire does, unless you have some sort of mount to put your rifle on, all it's going to do is make you miss faster. But it's the principle of the fact that they're not supposed to do it. They're not supposed to be allowed to do it, and yet here they are. They did it, and that's what's made him very unpopular in that sense.
That was because of Vegas, though, wasn't it? Because in Vegas, the guy shot into a crowd.
No, they've been trying to ban bump stocks for years.
I think that's what got it, isn't
it? It went through as part of I think it was part of an executive order, but they'd been trying to ban it. Somebody came up with it in the early 2010s is when they figured that out, and it came up with it. And it wasn't until 2016, I believe it was, that was it Arms Department of Great, I can't remember the acronym now.
Anyway,
ATF. ATF came up with a statement that said, well, because mechanically it doesn't function the same as a full automatic weapon, it's legal. So
does it still infringe on the Second Amendment, though?
Anything that infringes on the Second Amendment is a violation.
You gotta figure out what classes are like if you ban certain weapons for particularly generally being quite dangerous, as long as you're not banning all weapons, technically I don't think it's infringing on the Second Amendment rights.
The thing is, if you start banning weapons, though, then it starts getting a slippery slope, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think there are some things that should be banned, and some things in America as well are rightfully banned. I know, if I'm not mistaken, you can't own military grade weapons.
But when the Second Amendment was written, any weapon was a military grade weapon.
Now though, I think you can't have military grade weapons.
No, we can't have them now, and that's the thing. It's even when it comes to AR-15. AR-15 is a civilian version of a military weapon. It's the functionality that makes it different. It doesn't matter really how it looks. It's just how it functions that's different. The thing is, I mean, I have several what a lot of people would call vintage rifles, old style rifles, and every single one of them at one point was a military grade rifle. It just isn't considered one now. But at one point they all were. I mean, even down to a Winchester, a lever action Winchester that I have, or a CBA Kentucky, and that's the flintlock rifle that stands about as tall as you are. I mean, it stands. The one I have stands right about 5 feet tall, and yeah, it's probably, believe it or not, just because of the overall length, that's one of the most accurate rifles I ever owned. but it's one, it's maybe 2 shots a minute if you're fast enough. And that at one point was a military style rifle.
Yeah. Like at one point, a sword, like a really shitty sword, was a military style weapon.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
It's
Scottish
a red
independence.
line, and I was saying what I said last time when I couldn't vote for it, which is no.
Honestly, I'm
Yes.
neutral at this point because I just think we're fucked either way. That's what I think
just
of
think
it.
it's like, I remember the promise of it would be another generation before a vote like this would happen. It's been what, 5 years now?
Yeah, 5 years. And they just won't let it fucking die, will they?
No, it's dead now. It's because they're a single issue party with a couple extra things they've done in the same time. But generally, we want Scottish independence.
Which is bullshit because they want to stay in the EU, which isn't independence anyway.
Yeah, and it's really shit because the EU is just shit.
Yeah. Scottish independence, new referendum will happen. No, it won't.
Doesn't the British government have to call that though?
Yes, they do.
So which means making feel like, nah, fuck you. And
both Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn have both said no, so
yeah,
it's not going to happen. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon predicted that another independence referendum will take place in Scotland. But she said it was reasonable to wait for clarity on Brexit before setting out a firm position. We already know your fucking position anyway, regardless. Either way, whatever happens with Brexit, you're still going to go, oh, we want another referendum anyway.
Well, aren't other people also calling for a second Brexit referendum?
Yes, they are. They get 5 million signatures.
Yes.
On that.
And I find that funny that people are like, oh my god, it's got a whole 5 million signatures. Yes, this country has about 60 million people, by the way. and we don't know who's really signing these. Like, they're all British people that are signing this, supposedly, or just a bunch of fucking Russians.
I reckon a lot of it's botted.
Probably.
I don't think a lot of them are legitimate signatures, to be honest.
Well, I was a Remainer at the time, and I wouldn't be now, but even if I was, I'd probably still vote Leave just because we already fucking did this. This is what the people wanted. I might as well support that now.
This is a very dangerous precedent when the Parliament could just reject whatever the people voted for.
Oh, we
But
don't
like
like
the
the result.
idea.
Let's just do it again. I didn't just get to redo my exam. I didn't like the result I got. No, I had to fucking wait a whole year and do it again.
Did I get recess for exams? I do.
In uni you do, but in like high school, you have to like go and redo the entire course again.
Fuck that.
There are exceptional circumstances where you can have a resit, but they're not very common.
Yeah. Labour Shadow Minister, actually Leslie Laird, has meanwhile blamed the Prime Minister for uncertainty over the UK and the EU. Sort of MP. Sort of MP Andy Bowie prick. I'm saying he's a prick because he's my MP and he's ignored every single email I've ever sent him.
I don't know who my MP is right now. I used to know who they were. Like Ailey Whitford, where I was back home, but I don't know where. I don't know who I got now in Dundee.
And the last thing I've always wanted is a general election Labour would like to see. Exactly, Lindsay. Yeah, Scotland is so independent they need to join the EU to show how independent they are.
Mm.
In an interview on the Andrew Marr show on BBC One, Miss Sturgeon said another Scottish independence his referendum is going to happen. Nothing in life is absolutely certain, but I think it's as inevitable as possible. Fucking hell, can't read today. I can't read any day. Hence the title of the stream, but still, nothing in this life is absolutely certain. But I think it's inevitable as possible can be. So it's possible to be. Before I set a path forward for Scotland, I think it is reasonable for me to know what the starting point of that journey is going to be in the context in which we are going to be embarking on it. We need to know, and hopefully we will know over the next few days and over the next 3 weeks. Is the UK leaving the EU? Is it going Is it leaving with a deal? Is it leaving with no deal, or is it not leaving at all? Perhaps looking at another referendum. Pick yourself then. Regardless of any of these things happen, you'll just start it as a bad deal or whatever and just say, oh, well, we want another referendum now. This is not what the people of Scotland wanted, even though you never asked them.
It's fucking stupid.
If Sturgeon joined a crowd that has been estimated over 1 million people on a march in London to demand a second Brexit referendum. First Minister is handling the Brexit process by the UK government has strengthened the case for Scottish independence. Because why are the two issues even conflated anyway? They really have nothing to do with each other.
And a couple of my friends did debate are on a debating course. There's not a course; it's all elective thing you can do where you have to do one of them. But they do debates every couple of weeks. It's the one I actually went to, but I heard it was a really interesting debate about this, and it came to a no. It doesn't strengthen the case at all.
It doesn't because there's
strengthen the case for Scottish independence.
It doesn't because I know some people who voted for Scottish independence but didn't want to be in the EU.
I had a friend who was like strong. Like, we argued a lot about Scottish independence because I was adamantly against it. He was adamantly for it, and now he just like, nah, fucking can't. I don't think it's a stupid idea now. It's just don't do it.
I'm kind of neutral because I think we're fucked either way at this point.
Yeah, but that's inevitable.
I don't think it's much worse. I don't think it can get much worse and much better, to be honest, either way.
Just fuck us over and be done with it.
The experience of the last almost 3 years now, Scotland's vote ignored. No, that's ironic. The voice of the Scottish Parliament ignored all the consequences that have flown from Brexit completely out with our control.
That's the worst shit. Just because the majority of Scotland said remain and England said leave doesn't mean that Scotland's vote was ignored. It just means that Scotland voted differently to England.
Yeah.
England, having a much larger population, got the say.
Yeah, England has about 10 times the people Scotland does. So it makes sense that they're going to what they vote for generally the UK is going to get, isn't it?
Yeah.
That really does make the case for independence very, very powerfully. No, it doesn't. Speaking to the Sunday Politics Scotland programme, Labour's Leslie Laird said the fact that there is so little uncertainty over the way ahead on Brexit was down to Theresa May. She's useless. The reason we haven't got a position in the Parliament for being able to formulate a clear view, she said, is because of the way the Prime Minister has handled this whole negotiation. What's that? Is that sat-nav, is it? Say, is that sat-nav?
Oh, the speaking. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll shut it off.
No, it's not what it is. It's fine. She hasn't dealt with Parliament. She hasn't given Parliament the opportunity to have these discussions around good day votes. Fuck no. The Labour's idea of putting the issue towards voters in a general election has been strongly criticised by Anthony Barry, who was the Parliamentary Private Secretary to the Prime Minister. Speaking on the same programme, he said the vast majority of people in this country, the last thing they want, contrary to Labour, is another general election. I'm not in a position, I don't think anybody is here in a position to make a prediction on whether we'll be this time next week. Nobody is anymore.
Apparently, we just delay Brexit every few months if we want to. So, but yeah, never leave the EU.
Yep.
I reckon it's going to be a no deal though, because Theresa May would not be able to bring anything to Parliament that they will accept.
I think we'll just crash out. Because I mean, she's saying she wants a third.
Okay, he just left the fucking hangout.
Oh, his internet's been weird lately, so
I noticed earlier.
And no worries.
There we go.
See, and he's back. That didn't take long.
Kick myself out my own eye. Okay, that's what I did.
You kicked yourself out. Fucking do.
It happens. It happens. I've done it myself.
How?
Because I'm an idiot, that's how.
I know that, but oh,
See, I was trying not to be that mean about it.
Oh, we've got
Yeah,
Lindsay. Is the stream back up, or is it just
I don't know. I'm not checked.
laughing at me for kicking myself out of my own hangout?
It is pretty fucking funny, to be fair.
It still says we're live.
Yeah, it might be buffering though.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, we're live.
No, it should stay up regardless. Anyway, that took me off.
Oh dear. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, just taking the vessel. That's good. Anyway.
You know, I wouldn't mind that Call constantly pinged when he was going live. If it wasn't for the fact he goes live for a few hours.
Yeah, does he spend like 16 hours a day just streaming in front of his PC?
Yeah, it annoys me because I don't care about any of his streams.
Hey, wait a second. I resemble that.
Sorry?
I can't be honest with someone.
Streaming 16 hours a day, I resemble that.
Yeah, but that's your job, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, unfortunately, not today because.
Plus, that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and people like come in, and this is all it is. People just come in and out. So people will come in and out throughout the day.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, not today because, well, I discovered it's actually a good thing that the account that my Hangouts is linked to and the account that my YouTube channel itself is linked to are two separate channels. Because apparently I played music for 15 minutes yesterday, and that 15 minutes worth of music that said they were not copyrighted were. So I'm waiting for YouTube to give me an answer now.
Yes, hello, mysterious unknown box.
Heinsberg allegedly beans pizza.
Yeah, Heinsberg allegedly bean pizza now as a vegan option.
That sounds terrible.
Ooh.
It sounds fucking disgusting.
Well, I like pizza, but holy fuck, do not do me like that.
I like pizza, but I don't like beans, so this is fucking disgusting. Fans went wild for the bean pizza back in the 90s, and now the cult classic is returning once again as part of Heinz 150th celebrations.
I just really shitty beans on toast.
That's pretty much what it is, yeah. Oh, Chadwick.
It sounds like branded, overpriced beans on toast, but round.
Except beans on toast doesn't have cheese.
You can put cheese on it.
True.
Yeah, beans on toast does have cheese.
Oh, okay.
Fans were left heartbroken when the cult Heinz Beans pizza was banished in the supermarket freezer aisles in 2003. Maybe there's a reason for that.
It sounds absolutely shit. Like, if you really want beans on your pizza, just get a regular fucking pizza and pour some beans on it. It'll probably be cheaper.
Exactly, yeah. It's got like a cheap, like fucking £1 pizza from Asda, put beans on that and done.
Yeah. Speaking of pizza, I got like the fucking, you know, the Chicago Town stuffed crust takeaway ones are like fucking huge. Got a couple of those in my freezer. I'm gonna put that on later for dinner.
Oh, they're amazing when you're hungover, like.
When you're hungover, I wouldn't know.
Well, you're not really Scottish, then, are you?
I've been drunk. I've been hungover.
I think thinking about bean pizza when I'm hungover just makes me want to vomit more while I'm hungover.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it wasn't bean pizza. There was like cheese pizza that put bacon on. It was fucking amazing.
Well, bacon is a different story. Bacon makes everything better.
Oh, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I don't like bacon.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like that's a really like a massive taboo thing to do in Scotland, just not like bacon.
That's not like anything that's unhealthy.
Fucking being a vegetarian in Scotland, that's a death sentence.
Yeah, it is. Bean lovers were so desperate to see the iconic pizza return, they even lost a petition in 2017 calling for the childhood favourite to be brought back. And finally, the wait is over.
That just sounds like one of those things that you remember fondly because you don't see it today and don't get to eat it today. Didn't realize how shit it was.
It's like those turkey. Do you remember those turkey Twizzler things?
No.
Too young to remember them. Well, they were fucking disgusting. And Jimmy Oliver got them banned in like 2005.
Fucking Jamie Oliver. If he fucking offed himself, I don't think anyone would care. Not even his daughter, because he fucking abuses her.
Hey, they're arsehole. In celebration of Heinz's 150th birthday, the company has collaborated with the takeaway service Deliveroo to bring the pizza back. And even have a vegan version.
What the fuck is it's just vegan cheese?
I assume it has cheese in it. So, I don't know.
Stop letting vegans off. Just fucking let them slowly fall their way out the gene pool. Which is probably a terrible thing to say considering I have a lot of friends that are vegans because my mom's vegetarian.
Oh no! I heard some. I heard an actually very good idea for the whole vegans versus meat eaters thing last night. I can't even remember who said it, but looking to H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, where all the humans had been, all the other species other than humans had killed off, and all of a sudden we've got two species of humans. One are the vegans, one are the people who eat the vegans. So they're just preparing themselves to be our food.
Ah, you're right. That sounds disgusting, but you're right.
Chadwick says, "Whoever made this needs to be shot. Or needs to be beat."
Oh, you get the penis.
Yeah, Lindsay, this does scream junk people food, doesn't it? I think you'd stick in the microwave when you're fucking home from the pub or wherever.
Yeah, you ever seen the sketch video of if vegans were like meat eaters? Sorry, wrong way round.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like vegans, that's the one. Sorry.
Chadwick, yeah, I'm aware H.G. Wells was high when he wrote The Time Machine. Did you not notice who my avatar is? Did you not notice who my avatar is? Yeah, there's a lot of authors who wrote while high.
Probably not, because I'm presenting my screen at the moment. So.
I find there's one writer that doesn't write while they're high, but they try to retcon stuff after, like they get high and then retcon their entire shit. Doing as J.K. Rowling. Friggin' to be in more shit because he started talking about how no one really, like the new Fantastic Beasts film doesn't go in depth about the intense relationship that Dumbledore and Grindelwald had, and I'm just like, who the fuck cares? If you really want to show that, put it in your fucking film.
Write a book about it or something.
Yeah, like.
All right, boomer moment. Dumbledore, that's the dude who gave the midget the ring to throw into the mountain, right?
No, it's Lord of the Rings guy.
I know.
Dumbledore is the headmaster who's possibly a pedo for Harry because they're way too close for that age gap.
Yeah, I reckon Hagrid was as well. Hagrid had Hagrid must have been.
Like, to be fair, Hagrid introduced Harry to the Wizarding World, got to sort of almost be a bit of a mentor to him before he goes to Hogwarts. So there's a bit of a reasoning for that bond to exist.
I think he was also the first one to deliver him to his house as well.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Harry Potter anyway?
I don't know. We're talking about fucking books, and I got to J.K. Rowling, so we got to Harry Potter.
We're talking about pizza, and somehow I ended up getting Harry Potter.
Conversation. That's because fucking we talk about vegans, and we talk about H.G. Wells with the Time Machine. And I started talking about getting high while writing and changing the fucking plot, and I got to J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter now.
Well, at least we could identify how the ADHD started this time.
Yeah.
Back on topic.
Oh.
Pizza, beans, nasty. Let's go.
Deliveroo is working with restaurants across the UK to bring back the must-miss blast from the past.
No one misses it. It's gonna flop. It's gonna be like all the nostalgic 90s kids are gonna be like, oh my god, it's so great, it's back. Taste it. Oh fuck, it's disgusting. Never eat it again.
Yeah, exactly. This time around, they're selling the upgraded version of the margarita pizza and margarita and sausage pizza. See, that sounds alright.
$7.50. Fuck off.
You can get fucking pizza shops taken.
Give me £2. I'll make a fucking beans pizza.
Hey, Lindsay, there you go.
I'm fucking I'm mad.
There you go, Lindsay.
That price is so fucking stupid. I knew it though. Branded, overpriced.
I know it's a £7.75 tin of beans, but yeah, okay, get fucked.
If you go to Tesco, you can get a can of beans for like 30p. So make it £3, and I'll pay for that because
You can buy a cheese pizza for like £1. You can buy for £1.75. You can have basically the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just buy a fucking £1 pizza and stick a can of beans over it. You're done. The same thing.
There's probably like hundreds of tutorials how to do it. So yeah, I'm not fucking buying one of those.
Just do it the lazy way, like I said.
So now watch this. Now watch this 750 pizza. Tastes like the pizza you get down at the corner shop.
Like at least when I pay like absurd amounts for Domino's, I find that I get the quality that I'm paying for.
Domino's is shit as well, though.
Oh, I love Domino's.
Domino's is bad. Yo, bitch, my lane.
I have to limit myself to one Domino's a month because I just cannot afford more than that. But I do love me some Domino's.
Yeah, they are overpriced.
Oh, definitely, because they're a very well known brand. But like they're cheaper than Papa John's, and I find that Papa John's stuff is basically cardboard, like a bit of shitty cheese on cardboard. So none of that.
No matter what, I think the pizza joints around America have gotten a lot better when they stopped putting marinara on it and start putting barbecue sauce. Ha ha ha.
That's an option with Domino's. You can do that.
Yeah, Domino's, Pizza Hut, and Papa John's does it.
Yeah, I'm not huge. I've never done it, but I don't really want to try it because with Domino's, I don't want to pay for a pizza I might not like because if I don't like it, that's a lot of money down the drain.
That is true.
So I just go for a classic half and half, one with just cheese and tomato, and the other one with pepperoni. I'm very vanilla with my pizzas.
Well, come over to Virginia. Sometime. I'll order a barbecue pizza from Domino's. You can have a few slices. See what you think on me. How's that?
You gonna pay for the flight and the passport?
That I don't think I can afford.
Yeah, same.
Anyway,
Just ship some over. I'm sure it won't go moldy in that time.
just to get like a cooler or something, you'll be all right.
There you go.
God.
See, but something tells me what we call barbecue sauce, what y'all call barbecue sauce, are probably way two different things.
Probably because different food regulations, but that's something we can't really do much about. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
That's why the Iron Brew in America is different to what's in Scotland. Hello.
Who's this? Well, it's Lindsay here. So.
Yeah, it's Lindsay.
Hello, Lindsay. Ooh, she's quiet.
Lindsay, are you there? Lindsay.
You're quiet.
Lindsay.
Nah.
Oh.
Oh, dear. Oh,
Joe
she's muted.
Joe Groves at Delivery said the Heinz pizza is an absolute 90s cult classic, so we're sprinkling a touch of magic and bring it back in the customer zones for 2019. There's only 150 being made for each restaurant, so get it while it's hot.
Okay. If it's a 90s cult classic, why am I only just hearing about it?
I think the thing about when they call something a cult classic, they want to be trying to bring a popularity to something that should have been gone away. That's how Attack of the Killer Tomatoes ended up being a thing again after 30 years.
Like if it's a 90s cult classic, my mom will have told me about it. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known about it. It would have been like one of those 90s nostalgia pages or whatever.
Yeah, 90s kids will remember this and all that. Yeah. Never heard of it though.
Scotty's right on that. It's going to be someone's going to say, "Hey, I remember this." Have a bite. Oh man, I remember why I didn't like it either. Now it's going to be. I don't know. I think cult classic foods from like the 80s and 90s is stuff like say the U.S., there's one called Screaming Yellow Zonkers. It's basically a little bit of butter, a whole lot of sugar, glazed on, think uncooked toffee, glazed on popcorn. And unlike like Fiddle Faddle, it didn't have nuts in it, and it was just popcorn glazed.
That
And
sounds
that's
like diabetes.
Surprise, surprise! I'm diabetic.
Nice.
Yeah, but there's a long story behind that one. But it's Screaming Yellow Zonk. It was called Screaming Yellow Zonkers, and I found a shop over in Richmond that sold them last year. I think it was for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
And they could not keep the stuff in stock. I mean, there were people waiting to get this stuff. Now that's a cult classic food.
Yeah.
Not beans on pizza. Not something that makes pizza soggy.
Yeah, it does sound pretty shit. I'm never gonna get that. Like,
Yeah.
I like pizza.
Lindsay says her headphones are messing up, and stand by.
Like,
Okay, no worries.
One of my favorite ways to have pizza, which is I think it's a very Scottish thing to have it, is deep fried.
Oh, they're disgusting. They're even worse than fucking bean pizza.
Nah, no way. Love me a deep fried pizza.
Nah,
I think the worst I've ever gone deep fried is the deep fried Twinkie, and was not a fan.
Deep fried Mars bars. I've had that once.
See, deep fried Mars was alright. I don't think I'd have it again though.
It's one of those things. If you're in Scotland, you kind of have to have once.
Well, I can't say I'm an American, therefore I do love a good corn dog.
Yeah, but you deep fried butter in America, which I thought was.
Wait, what?
Deep fried butter. You ever heard of it?
That sounds disgusting.
They found a way to at one of these state fairs where they come up with the wildest stuff to deep fry. Somebody figured out how to deep fry butter. Don't think I would be a fan.
No, I would not eat that.
Wait, I don't like butter on its own. It's just something about the taste is wrong.
It's basically just fat, isn't it? It's fat covered in fat and then fucking cooked in fat.
Yeah, with a little bit of milk in there.
Well, at least I'll give them credit for it being real butter and not margarine.
With some milk, flour, and eggs, basically.
I can't believe this is real butter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can't believe it's not a coronary.
We couldn't be happier by relaunching the Canacan's pizza.
Can we move on to something that's not a really shit pizza?
Yeah, it's at the end of the article anyway.
We've been on this for like 20 minutes. Because
What?
apparently we started talking about Harry Potter. Which I've never been Scotsman for.
Hey, blame me even though you brought it up. You brought up Harry Potter, not me. You brought up J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter, not me.
Well, someone said it being high while writing books. Yeah, it was Chadwick's fault. There we go. It's Chadwick's fault. To quote the name, damn it, Chadwick. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Hey, the screen copy. Screenception. No, no.
We're falling down the rabbit hole.
Oh, God.
We're being blown towards the rock-stricken cruise ship arrives back in port as terrified passengers relieve how powerful lighter took ward and listed at 45 degrees before all 400 holidaymakers were winched to safety.
What?
This happened in Norway. Did you see the video of the ship that was like rocking about?
No.
A stricken cruise ship. Oh, fucking Daily Mail, man. A stricken cruise ship from which more than 400 people had to be lifted to safety after it developed engine trouble in rough seas as arrived safely into port. Viking scouts sent on midday at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and the helicopter crew spent hours wincing the early passengers one by one from the vessel rescue ships and tugs to aid the vessel. Videos filmed by passengers show the ship rolling at an angle of almost 45 degrees and water slushing through the commercial areas inside the ship. today with 3 or 4 engine backups, and there were 3 or 4 engines back up and running. The huge ship is coming to the Norwegian coastal town of Malta. And Vic.
Yeah.
His
I
joint
think I
rescue
saw a video.
coordination. Yeah, there was videos of this. It was
Yeah, the video of like inside of a lounge area, and everything just started falling and rolling all over the place.
Yeah. To be fair, it actually looked quite fun if you survived it.
Wait, is that the video that
Yeah.
was on Irie Alex's reaction earlier? Like,
I'm not too sure actually. I know it was on the Blunt stream last night, but I don't know if you watched the Blunt stream.
It was Irie Alex was watching he was watching fucking like videos from r/what the fuck or WTF.
How many American surfers would be in that lounge room while the ship's rocking back and forth like that, just going, "Awesome, dude, gnarly."
That
Did I just date
like
myself with that?
You just made yourself sound like an absolute fucking cunt.
Yeah, you did. You
like anyone that says gnarly unironically should be fucking beaten with a stick.
Has anyone said gnarly in the last 20 years? Has anyone said that like in the last 20 years about being really?
Give me a break. I grew up when tubular was the thing.
Oh, what does that even fucking mean?
Huh?
What the fuck does that even mean?
Anyway, Hans Vik, who heads Joint Rescue Coordination Centre for Southern Norway Police, told TV2 it was very nearly a disaster. The ship drifted to 100 meters of the running aground before they would restart one of the engines.
I just really hope that one of the people that when one of the survivors, or no, I say survivors, I don't think anyone died, but
no,
like one of this passengers just at the end of it just went again.
A few bruises, maybe a broken bone here or two, but other than that, I reckon they would have been fine.
Yeah. You ever feel like your whole world's just shifting under your feet?
If they had run aground, if they had hit it, I don't know. We would have faced a major disaster. American Jan Foran said there was little time for panic after the order came to abandon ship. He told Norwegian news outlet Dag Bladet, we could see we were getting blown towards some rocks. It was the most frightening thing I think, but luckily we weren't. Luckily, it wasn't our destiny. It's like that bad. I've seen worse.
I love the way when stuff like this happens and they talk to some spokesman. They always, instead of just saying we screwed up and it was a miracle that they got us out of this alive, they always turn it into it was our destiny.
Wait, what?
They always turn religion and stuff, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking religion.
Yeah, look at halfway in there. I think she's at church right now.
They always believe in God that once they think they're actually going to meet him.
Yeah, and that happens really often.
Yeah.
Same when somebody dies as well.
Yeah. Hello again, Lindsay.
Hey, guys.
Hey, we have someone speaking now.
Hello, Lindsay.
Sorry about that. For some reason, there was no audio coming through my headphones, so I had to restart my computer.
No worries. Job road.
Call the computer gay. I'll do everything you want.
Yep.
Today the billionaire at the cruise line. Sorry, when you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was thinking about taking my wife on a cruise. Second thoughts now.
Yeah, it's kind of like wrong here.
Yeah, probably for the best. Today, the owner of the cruise line, Foreign Hagen, told Norwegian TV2 they've had a bit of a shock. They've had a bit of a shocking experience. Most of our passengers are senior citizens. Imagine what it's like to hang on there. That wire. It must be a terrible experience, but they seem to have handled it well. As many as 200 UK citizens may have been among the 436 passengers about to disembark at the Viking Sea, along with 480 crew. From 458 crew after the ship lost power yesterday lunchtime in huge swells. Falling ceiling tiles hit passengers on the head as struggling cruise ship rolled towards almost 45 degrees on its side, tipping to send tables and chairs skimming across the decks. Since receiving the Mayday call, the Coast Guard helicopters have rescued 479 of the mainly elderly passengers, already winching them aboard an aircraft one by one, with 5 helicopters working in rotation, carrying 15 passengers per ride. The evacuation has now ended. 20 people have already been taken also, with 3 with serious injuries. A 90-year-old man and a 70-year-old spouse were severely injured. According to the Norwegian broadcaster MRK.
That's the video I saw.
Yeah, I saw a different one than that. And I think I would be sick if I was on that, though. I think I would actually spew all over the place. Especially if you're
I'd probably be hanging
hungover.
onto that pole for dear life.
Especially if you're hungover, you're just sitting there. See, the other one I saw was worse than that. That was fairly tame compared to the one that I saw.
Sitting in one of those chairs. Concierge, I need some Tylenol. The room's spinning.
Tylenol, give me some fucking Dramamine. Knock me out as that's going on.
Yeah.
And sleep through it.
Hey, waitress, can I get some Dramamine and some hair of the dog? Whoa. Shut up, pumpkin. You're letting your southern show.
Well, we all know you're a redneck.
Do what now?
We all know you're a redneck.
I am a redneck, but I'm not as bad as some others. I'll just say that.
You know, it is stories like that is like the reason why I don't go on. The thought of going on a cruise ship just doesn't sound too appealing to me.
No, I've heard they're disgusting anyway.
I'd be one. My luck, I'd be on a cruise ship. I'd be that guy caught by those damn Somali pirates.
Okay.
Postman died for 21 minutes but came back to life after being wheeled to the morgue. Shit yourself, though, wouldn't you?
It's like, wait, I was dead? Oh, shit.
Oh, you mean if you were like wheeling this dead, if you were like working there, you'd be like wheeling this dead guy with like covers over him, and then he suddenly wakes up and just goes, "What the fuck?" Doctors are baffled what happened to medical man Jan Yao Foreign. But it's the first time he's managed to, but it's not the first time he's managed to dramatically cheat death. Coachman, who died for nearly half an hour, miraculously came back to life after being wheeled to the morgue. Doctors have judged Yao Foreign, the medical man, after he.
Hey, boss, was I dead long enough to claim that life insurance?
After he made a miracle recovery following a cardiac arrest. A team of medics said there was no concrete explanation for what happened to him and why he was unable to walk away from hospital just 3 weeks later.
hacks. That's what it is.
This isn't the first time Mr. Four and his monster escaped death after he was in a devastating class that left him with 90% blood loss. Jesus fuck.
Mm.
We're gonna have to cheat death twice and win. Fair play.
Man's game there.
But I mean, holy shit, can you imagine waking up just right before they're about ready to embalm you?
I'm not sure what would be funnier, waking up or hearing the medical examiner. Oh shit!
Oh, he's alive. Holy fuck.
I'm preparing to make the primary incision. Don't you dare! Ah!
Doctors said he would never survive the operation or walk or move his arms again, but he denied all the odds and pulled through. The 38-year-old shared his incredible story nearly 10 years on. Really? Wait, 10 years to tell your story? Well, you must be scared. I might be why. Look at what it is, he's poor now, that's why he was body. Mr. Forden was pulling out of his drive on the 18th of April 2009 when he suffered a cardiac arrest. His wife Griselle, who he was shopping to work, was in horror as his eyes rolled to the back of his head and his hands clenched rigidly around his gear stick and steering wheel. That's when he saw his tongue turn to the back of his throat. He shoved the phone into his mouth to prevent any slipping further backwards. She then ran from the car and managed to call the ambulance with the help of a neighbour. He was then rushed to Royal Hospital, where 6 hours of all the shots and injections were deemed fertile. The CPR been unsuccessful. Mr. Foreign was pronounced dead at 4 p.m. His wife and children were told that he was dead. And they phoned his parents in Portugal to give him this sad news. However, the nurses were transporting his body to intensive care towards the mortuary, then noticed movement in his body. He had been 21 minutes of forced circulation, simultaneously returned to Mr. Foreign's heart. Obviously, he remained in coma for 3 days and now he's alive. Fair enough.
Further proving that with all medical knowledge that we have, we still don't know nothing.
No, this was 10 years ago as well. I think by then we would have learned from something like this, but no. Sex toys used to look very different and people thought they cured disease. You may assume that vibrators are a relatively new phenomenon, but actually they've been around for a very long time. Before she passed away, sex editor Yoni Blanc had been collecting antique vibrators for over 20 years. And the weird and wonderful of the collection is now on display at the Antique Vibrator Museum in San Francisco. That'd be fucking California, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. And personally tested to make sure they all still work.
Some of the names might surprise you. You won't find any pink or bedazzle places on display at the exhibits like toys. And the sex toys are sold now in stores such as Ann Summers, but instead the museum is home to a selection of gadgets that used to inflict torture, including blood circulation, a pneumatic vibrator, and something that you get a hand off. It's fuck. Looking for like a vibrator for your head or something. That's just weird. I don't know what you do with half this stuff though.
What the?
Like, what would you do with that? Would you like stick your dick in the end and just like destroy it or something?
You know, considering it's got a handle like that and there's moving parts inside of it. It ain't going anywhere near me.
That looks like a can opener.
I was thinking more of an old egg beater.
Yeah. It's like, where the hell would you insert the end there?
What would you do with these?
That looks like a rolling pin.
I was gonna say that just looks like if that doesn't make your wife happy, she can take that and beat you over the head with it.
What does that do then, Chadwick? Because I have no idea. Rolling pin heat massager.
Oh, so I was right. So I was a rolling pin.
Something to help women, and it's a rolling pin. It's the patriarchy.
That one at the top there looked like like some sort of electric butt plug or something.
Yeah.
It looks like some fucking mod hair dryer or something. I mean,
now there's vibrators nowadays that actually look like that one. They call them percussion massagers, I think.
Why does it have wheels as well? That's just weird. What's something that need wheels? Yeah. I don't know. New security stereo, apparently.
Really, I think that would probably have the polar opposite effect.
Yeah, probably.
I think that would certainly exacerbate your hysteria.
Supermoon Hell's end of days and the coming Messiah warns Rabbi. The rabbis have predicted the supermoon heralds the beginning of end of days and the coming of the Messiah. Rabbi Judu has said there's a holy message to the astral phenomena that will coincide with the Jewish holiday of Purim. Supermoon occurs when the moon is its closest point to Earth. This results in a lunar surface shining as bright as looking up to 14% larger, which occurs each year up to 3 or 4 times. And the rabbis pointed there was significance to the supermoon being mentioned in the Torah.
So it's just the end of the world again, just like in 2014, 2008, 2000.
2012.
2012.
2011.
Hail Bob. When the hell was the Hail Bob? I can't even remember that one. The whole Heaven's Gate cult.
No idea.
Wasn't that the 90s?
I don't know. I know there was one in 2000, 2011, 2012, and then there was another one in last year, I think, and then there's one this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then I remember in 2000 when you had the Y2K debacle and how everybody was freaking out, like, "Oh my God, it's like Y2K. It's gonna end the world."
And the only bad thing happened is some computer glitch in a Blockbuster in some podunk town charged a dude like $8,000 in late fee. That was it.
And the rabbi pointed the significance of the supermoon as being, speaking on his YouTube channel, he predicted the end of days of 2021. People like this used to be put into asylum, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. My God, that looks like the same dude from Hail Bob.
Judaism ended days heralds coming Jewish Messiah. They also in the kingdom of God.
So then if I were to claim that this guy might be full of shit, would that make me an anti-Semite?
Probably.
My only question is, why are all these prophets that say the world is coming to an end, why are they all bald?
Probably because the stress of the world's going to come to an end. That's why.
Because their world is coming to an end. They're probably going to die in a couple of years.
Yeah, so they're stressed.
They're literally channeling Nostradamus. Because I think Nostradamus was bald and had a beard.
They all seem to be bald and have beards, though. You gotta see a guy that didn't herald the end of the world that wasn't bald and that didn't have a beard.
Yeah.
He will rule during the Messiah age, and we will see the end of the world as we know it. Rabbi Foreign predicted codes with Fin Genesis, which suggests a link between Silver Moon and Purim. He said he found the words Huge Moon, Purim, Evidence, Israel, Warning, and Messiah. Rabbi Foreign said Israel is always compared to the moon. Now the moon is shining very large. That has indicated that Jews should really begin to shine now. Israel can complete redemption this Purim.
See, now the top right corner, the top right corner. That's what the end of the world actually looks like. Your router comes unplugged.
Yeah, these days, yeah.
Things that will happen if you say
that. But this Purim, this is a warning. It can only happen if they repent. God's prediction of the end of days is on Jews if you keep repenting and keeping everything which God wants them to keep. Okay, then. Rabbi Foreign believes the process of end of days began in 2016. Of course he did. Trump, I guess. Trump or Brexit.
I think the end of days began when the start of days happened.
I said, look at that other headline. The flags will be completely gone in America. That would be the sheep will forget. Man, someone wrote that as a fucking headline in America. Flags will be completely gone by 2050. Anyway, it's off topic.
Yeah.
Hello, Tom City. Purim commemorates the saving of the Jewish people from the Persian Empire and Empire's fallen Haman.
People have been kind of vulnerable for like centuries, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been fucked around a lot, haven't they?
They keep almost getting exterminated, like every other, like basically just an event every century where some Jews almost get exterminated.
Yeah, and they keep coming back.
Kind of unfortunate. Just ignoring that.
Yeah, you just said they keep coming back, and you're like, it's kind of unfortunate. Enjoy your 7 years, Rowan.
I think I was like 7 decades more like. I'm just saying, what have the Jews given us? Ben Shapiro.
Fucking disavow.
Ben Shapiro.
Gonna get me arrested.
Is your YouTube channel down yet?
No, well, there's only like 3 people watching this, so no, I think I'm fine. Test the waters a wee bit. Oh, fucking Tom, you missed it.
Oh, jeez.
To be fair, it's on your chat it was messed up, but on my chat it looks fine.
Oh, well, never mind.
Oh, and Chadwick never ruined it.
Well, getting way off topic. Yeah, exactly. They gave us banking and lawyers.
That doesn't sound good. Like, oh, well, they give us the banks that fucked us over, and they give us the lawyers that.
And porn, they own most of the porn as well.
Wait, what?
They own most of the porn as well.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, because Pornhub was celebrating Hanukkah. I remember that.
Aww. You got a license for that?
Well, we'll get a license for that pretty soon, yes.
Yeah. In other words, you got a VPN for that, mate.
Anyway, the story in the main book of Esther, which Rabbi links to, the supermoon. He said there are stories of Jews coming outside of Israel beginning their redemption in hidden ways. Other theologians have also backed Rabbi Foran's claim about end of days. Rabbi Yusuf Berger said the supermoon is a very good sign. The end of near is coming. The end is near, saying the beginning of the redemption. Meanwhile, Rabbi Foran Winston was coy looking to the moon to the end of days, said we were getting the final stages.
No, I kill myself. Ignore that.
It comes after it revealed last year the birth of Red Cow in Israel, which some have also linked to the end of days construction and the construction of Jerusalem's fabled third temple. Okay then. So basically, a lot of Jews think it's the end of the world.
I remember hearing one time about there was a school of thought that said the end of the world. The sign of the end of days and the end of the world came about when ungodly creatures began appearing on the earth. I guess that means like the whole unnatural creatures thing. Well, that explains pink hair, and that would kind of explain pink hair and non-binary and all that stuff, wouldn't it?
That is true. Unnatural.
Yeah.
I
People
don't,
have been doing that
care
for
about trans
centuries.
people that much. It's the people that go fucking non-binaries that piss me off. Like, what the fuck is
Transgenders. Like
If
nobody
you want to
knows.
drop your song off, that's your fucking business. But when you try to make up extra genders, that's when I'm going to step in and be like, no.
And you get people like Riley Dennis who say that I'm non-binary but I'm female. It's like, what the fuck? It doesn't make sense.
So science says no.
Anyway, Venezuela's a great place.
Okay, does that headline seem rather, I don't know, completely out of touch? Like as if they're somehow striking, like a hunger strike or some shit like that? Venezuela's revolution of hunger.
Well, it's the Guardian, so I wouldn't be shocked.
Oh, that's true.
They're trying to soften the blow of what these kind of political
It's apologist tactics.
philosophies. Yes. They sit and they'll sit and point at the old pictures of the bread lines from the Soviet Union and say, well, at least those don't happen anymore. Well, so they got to kind of soften the blow of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because rummaging through the trash and eating your pets is any better.
Yeah, remember breed rabbits. For the times, the Saudi Arabia of South America today, Venezuela is more resembles Syria. Well, frankly, I'd rather resemble neither of them.
Isn't that because they're like on the brink of civil war, though?
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Because they got fucking basically two governments trying to run the country at the same time. Only one of which had support of the military, and the other one had support of the people.
Yeah, eventually that'll come to a head.
Already is, like slowly but surely, it's definitely already coming to the head. They're already having insane amounts of protests with the military getting involved in that. So eventually it'll just be a fucking skirmish and eventually civil war.
And stuff like the recent power cuts and things like that is only going to strengthen the anger of the people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely, like, Maduro's a fucking dictator. There's no questioning that.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is.
Like, what was the turnout when he won that recent democratic election that he had?
Can't remember. I think it was very low, though.
Didn't he win by a landslide, though?
It would have been his own people that voted, though. That's what it would have been.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole joke. Just fucking rigged the elections.
Economically destroyed and socially unstable, the country is now fighting for an ever more alarming space. Spectre of hunger in the slum, Petra in the metropolitan area of the capital, Caracas. Fridges remain empty, supermarket queues grow long, and the necessity of pouring something to eat drives young people to violence.
It's almost like Maduro's starving his people.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
He absolutely is. You go to the supermarket in Venezuela, the shelves will all be empty. You go to most streets in Venezuela, people will be fighting over food.
Well, to be fair, I don't think to be fair, they did not intend for this to happen. It's just an unfortunate consequence that nobody ever seems to acknowledge being almost certain
It's called socialism.
that
Yeah.
it is.
That's
But then everybody swears, oh, it's going to work this time, and nobody ever realizes human nature is not going to allow that to happen.
It's socialism that was banked on oil. Like, and as soon as oil dropped, Venezuela went to shit out of nowhere. To everyone's.
Well, Venezuela went to shit before the oil crisis.
Right. I mean, yeah.
It's just gradually gotten worse since then.
Chadwick says some of the worst things in the world started because of good intentions. It's like, yeah, as that saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, say that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Many come together in armed bands, plunder houses and shops, rob food from passerby, and are paid in food stuff. Unsustainable inflation has caused prices to double week after week. Today, 9 out of 10 Venezuelans do not feel they have the sufficient resources to buy food. For some time now, the government has been trying to remedy this through the CLAP fund, which distributes food to civilians that do not seem to have enough. And hunger is now one of the greatest threats in Venezuela's fragile national security. I mean, the government doesn't fucking know where to put its resources. That's why it fails. Why? They don't know where to fucking put food.
I don't think socialism is that bad. I think an entirely socialist society is
Is
inherently
that
flawed.
It is
But,
flawed.
Like socialism in a society is not bad. Like NHS is a sign of that. Other than the fact that the Tories are fucking it over, it's a really good system. It's free healthcare. Like if something happens to me, I know I won't have to pay for the consequences of that.
But the waiting system in the NHS is ridiculously long.
Sorry?
The waiting system for the NHS is ridiculously long.
Oh yeah, but that's due to the Tories fucking it over.
No, it was like that long before the Tories. It's due to the fact that it's not run efficiently because it's run by the government. When things are not run for profit, they're run insufficiently because they don't care about the losses. Why would you? Government's going to back it up anyway. According to the National Survey of Living Conditions, 80% of homes in Venezuela are food insecure, with many families even the most basic items such as tomatoes or beans are out of reach. It's Christ. According to a 2018 report by the International Energy Federation, Caritas, 65% of children they had worked with were suffering from various levels of malnutrition. Around 87% of households now see CLAP subsidized food. It is never clear when the next embargo boxes will arrive. It has been heavily criticised by the opposition as the tool to ensure votes from the poorest members of society. Well, that's probably what it is, yeah. In the end, you're never going to solve the problem, are you?
Oh wait, no.
That's why I don't like foreign aid. Keep giving people foreign aid, you're never.
Yeah, it's the problem with Africa. You're gonna make them reliant. You're being dependent on you.
Well, yeah, you're never going to help them get a better life. They're just going to continue to remain in the same life they have already.
That's why I say just everyone get the fuck out of Africa. Let them sort their shit out.
or self-destruct. Either way.
Yeah, but like if that happens, that's due course. If we keep just withholding it from happening, it's not going to change the outcome. It's just going to delay it.
I mean, if you give people foreign aid, they won't starve to death. At the end of the day, they're never going to get out of the situation they're in, are they? They're just going to be reliant on that, and then never get a better life for themselves. There's going to be no incentive to do so. Robberies have become a major cause for concern, they often become homicides when victims who resist are killed. That's what happens when you starve people become very desperate for things. Absolutely, one thing struck me in 2018 when the endless queues to buy scarce food was left. Some people were queuing during the night so they could buy some rice or chicken. Now, on my second trip to the country in February, I wanted to photograph some of these lines again, but it was impossible. People have so little money that they cannot afford to go to the supermarket. There are no lines anymore. This is just one example, but there are many.
I'm honestly surprised that the Guardian's actually reporting on this.
Yeah, so
this just seems to contradict their narrative.
I'm surprised they haven't blamed the US for it yet. I expect them to do that at least some point.
I'm sure it's going to happen at some point.
Actually, it's kind of already happened to a point. The U.S. has been criticized for not sending enough foreign aid.
Yeah, I expect them to properly hammer the US. I'd expect the Guardian to do so.
True.
So far, this article's been fairly true, to be honest. And actually, I think the never-ending spiral of economic collapse is changing everything. The rhetoric of the socialist revolution that Chavez started stands on the premise of everything serving one ultimate goal: to serve the people, the poorest of the poor, and achieve social justice. Everything from the mass government nationalization of private assets and industries to increased military and security forces. People were told was done to serve the end. Serve that end. And rituals of Chavez. There were murals of Chavez in every street, and he was the people's hero. But now the economic freefall under Maduro's administration is hard as the pig. Well, again, it started with Chavez. Chavez was the cause of it. He was the one that nationalized the whole economy, and eventually it went to shit. Welcome to socialism.
Yep.
For those same people, while the rich and the middle class can migrate and earning dollars, the poorest are the ones suffering from the hunger and the rise of violence. So the same people who once cheered Chavez are voting against Maduro for the first time. There was a protest in Barra, a slum neighborhood. The government responded by sending free FAEs, a special armed force called in extermination group by some human rights NGOs. They killed 43 people according to the Prove, an NGO group. So now even the Barras and the strongholds of the Chavism are somehow revolting against Maduro's government. Yeah, Tamagol say the US was blamed for that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be very isolationist of me, but I think if they want to keep blaming the U.S. for everything, well, the U.S. should stop helping out. We had to become cut off all borders, cut off all foreign aid, become as isolationist as Japan was. Hell, in that sense, we may end up getting this damn mystic following that Japan had in that section that in that part of time where it's actually referred to by some people now as the lost decade of where Japan was just flat out isolated from everybody.
I'm actually in agreement with you there because I'm just like, okay, if you guys don't want our help, well then fine, fuck you, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I promise, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, I promise now that if we do that, we will not come back into the world with those stupid ass TV shows and movies and commercials that Japan did.
Well, there's plenty of stupid American TV shows. It's even worse when they remake some of our shows. I mean, American remakes of our shows are fucking terrible usually.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to be stuck with American reality TV shows.
That's when Americans remake British shows, it usually ends pretty badly.
Yeah.
American reality, the semi sort of kind of scripted. This actually happened after they read the script.
Yeah, it's not what America probably did.
I miss the sitcoms.
Me too.
Mm.
Guys, like the 70s, 80s, it's like that was all like a golden age for sitcoms.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you had the facts of life. Nell Carter, we lost you too early.
Yeah.
Or we'll do the modern intersectionality version of that song. You take the black, you take the you take the black, you take the white, you take the fat, you take the dyke, the facts of life.
Now we have now we're stuck with woke comedy.
Yeah.
Debbie Schubert.
And we're stuck with people like Hannah Gadsby.
I miss Sam Kinison.
Yeah. I miss George Carlin. Man, I wish George Carlin were still alive today. Because I'm pretty sure his takes would be very, very hot.
Oh, Chadwick's clipping that, by the way, Chucker. Chadwick's clipping that. You singing.
Oh, you take. Well, that being the case, hey Chadwick, here you go. You take the black, you take the white, you take the fat, you take the dyke, the facts of life, the facts of life. There you go. So let me see. That was Tootie, Blair, Natalie, and Joe, right?
Blind girl says hi. Blind girl says hello.
Hi, blind girl. I'm really showing my age on that, aren't I?
No.
Yes, you are.
I just know the names Blair and Tootie. I can't remember the others.
At least I'm not the youngest one here.
Prissy one. Blair was the prissy one.
She was the blonde girl, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the really long, flowing hair. Tootie was the black girl. Natalie was the really big girl, the fat girl, and Joe was the one that the tomboy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think towards the end, where everybody's sitting there saying, "Oh, she's a lesbian. She showed up with a boyfriend or something."
Oh yeah, because God forbid tomboys can't be straight.
Oh, so by the way, fishing guy, blind girl has the link if she wants to join it.
Are you putting it in, or should we send it?
No, she already has the link.
Oh, okay.
I sent it to her before the stream started.
Yeah.
Anyway, Venezuela's fucked.
What do you mean, wow, fishing guide? Did I remember the actual lineup of Facts of Life? Anyway.
See, I never really watched Facts of Life. I was more of the Alf fan. I also loved Benson back in the day. That was...
Oh,
what
Benson
did I
was
wake
awesome.
up to?
See, but if you like Benson to
I
the
have no
point,
idea.
I mean,
Hi.
yeah,
Hello.
you definitely have to kind of at least, or Alf, you
Let her
definitely have to give a nod to Out of This World and Small Wonder.
That's true.
And I think that was Out of This World. That's the one. The girl, her father was an alien, her mother was a human. She could stop time by putting her hands together.
I thought she was a robot. Or I'm thinking Small Wonder. Never mind.
That's Small Wonder. The other one I think is out of this world. Her dad was an alien. She could like stop time by, it'll stop time by putting her index fingers together, and time starts again by putting her hands together like she was praying. And if she touched,
That's a blood
if she
trucker,
stopped
really.
what?
Hey, that was some
What?
wholesome comedy back in the day.
I have no idea what
Uh-huh.
you're talking about, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about Venezuela, now we're talking about comedy. How did this happen? This always happens on this stream.
Uh-huh. I just turned on your stream to hear you talking about a fat and a dyke. Disavow, by the way.
You're timing.
Okay, no worries. Serious unknown though. Anyway, Furious Bride kicks veteran out of wedding for showing off in military uniform. Bride has revealed the drastic action she took on her wedding day to ensure she remained the center of attention. Of course she fucking did.
Topic.
Cunt.
Oh, so we have a Bridezilla story.
Yep.
Woo!
When it comes to wedding etiquette, there are several rules everyone should follow by now. Like not wearing white, not getting too drunk at the reception. These are little things to ensure the happy couple remain the center of attention on their big day. And the spotlight isn't stolen from them.
Narcissist.
Yep.
Weddings are there to get drunk.
Yep.
It's not like after the wedding you get drunk and then you fuck. That's what you do.
Yeah, pretty much. And, you get a chance at the bridesmaids, whether it's an open bar. Come on now.
Yeah, if you're single and they're single, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I know of a few cases where they weren't single, but hey, who's judging?
Yeah, what stays at the wedding? What happens at the wedding stays at the wedding.
Exactly. Kind of like Vegas.
I don't know if you sit and look at Pornhub, there's a lot of videos that claim to be, this is their wedding night. This happened at their wedding. Congratulations, you found an old secondhand dress to put her in before you all fucked.
Well, in the words of George Carlin, the traits of a good dry cleaner is getting pecker tracks out of a wedding dress.
But one wedding guest caused problems with a newlywed recently after turning up to the ceremony in his full military uniform, complete with army arrays and sparing medals. And what's wrong with that?
Oh, okay.
When I saw display, the bride wasn't feeling up for it.
If I had an event and a veteran showed up in his full class A's, his full military uniform, all medals and badges and ribbons and patches and buttons and zippers and bows and stuff. Yeah. That sumbitch be drinking free all night.
Yep. Free drinks, free food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a show of honor, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
There's been several occasions I show up at a truck to stop and stumble across a convoy or something, and there's 20, 30 guys in there getting, all of them getting coffee. I throw my credit card on the table and said, they ain't paying for nothing. I mean, that's just what you do for them.
It is. Actually, interesting fact about Canada. If you're a police officer or you're military, you get your coffee for free.
Is that all coffee places?
No, that's just Tim Hortons.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have a button that says, veteran, military, or police officer, and they get their drinks for free. Not their food, but all their coffee, they get that for free, and there's a button to just write it off.
There you go. You realize for the most part when a store does that, it's kind of a win-win because it also attracts the cops. So if there's cops in there getting coffee, what's the chance they're getting robbed?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's the
All right,
Chadwick.
All right, Bridezilla.
Yeah, Chadwick, I agree. Yeah, she was jealous she wasn't getting enough attention. In a post on Reddit, I have an arsehole for him. The unnamed bride revealed her shock. The man's tyrant who claimed he was showing off. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
If it's something you have to post in the subreddit, am I an asshole? Am I the asshole? Then you're probably the asshole in the matter.
Yeah, you're the arsehole.
Yeah.
The son of my husband's family friends showed up wearing his Marines wear uniform, complete with medals. I got nothing against anyone in the military. This is the black and white.
Isn't there something in the U.S. uniform code that says they're supposed to show up in their uniform
I'm not too sure.
on a formal occasion like that? I don't know. Anyway, he's awesome. She's a cunt. Continue.
So this was a black tie event, and frankly, it felt very out of place, and it seemed like he was just trying to show off. A wedding of over 300 guests, and nobody felt the need to wear something that made them stand out. To itself, the uniform itself looks quite smart. I don't see why you'd have a problem with it. I mean, like, go fuck yourself.
Narcissist.
Well, no, and it's like if a relative showed up at my wedding in military garb, I'd be asking him stories all night.
Yeah. I would be asking him to talk, have a speech, something like that. Is amazing to have somebody,
absolutely,
in your family that is, a decorated vet. Like, that would be amazing to me. I would be very honored that they would, grace me with their appearance at my stupid wedding, dressed up, making an effort. Like, I would be honored at that because, they didn't have to show up like that. It's like, it's an honor.
Yeah.
Well, you want him to show up in sweatpants and a shirt so nobody notices him? Like, with the little beer bottle there, pants half hanging off, and one slipper and a sock.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was showing up in a kilt.
Chadwick is absolutely right. The guy's in the military. He's going to a place where you're supposed to dress up. What's the problem?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the uniform, it's not like the uniform is tired. I mean, the uniform itself looks pretty smart.
Yeah.
And the uniform is extremely classy. So where's the lie?
Yeah. Hell, my godson's father is a vet. He's a retired Marine. And my wife and her best friend from childhood and her husband are my son's godparents. Whenever they're near us, they ain't got to pay for nothing. Because that's just what you do.
Yeah. The woman went on to say he did not like a gentleman at the reception, but couldn't get over. He did act like a gentleman while at the reception, but couldn't get over the fact she was stealing a lot of attention. Oh, go fuck yourself.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She continued. He said there were a few excited teenagers at the wedding who wanted to take a picture of him, which she graciously agreed.
Oh my God! Nobody wanted to take pictures in my $5,000 wedding gown. I feel so left out.
That so sounded like AOC. Wow.
Oh God.
Yeah, you do sound like AOC though, Brian. Accept it.
Like, nobody wanted to take pictures of my $5,000 wedding dress?
Is it just me or does Blind Girl you do sound like AOC?
Oh no, that was me.
Yeah, I wasn't the one that said that. So. Thank you, Scott.
Wow.
Now millennial and I'm an AOC doppelganger. Thank you. It wasn't even me.
Sorry.
I feel that sorry. From the bottom of your kilt.
I'm not wearing a kilt. I'm wearing jeans.
You know,
Careful.
What else
in a
is
case
that
like
article?
It's like
blind
careful,
girls, be careful about the cold kilt thing. I own 4.
I don't even own a kilt.
They're I own 4. They're very liberating.
Oh God, kilts are so fucking sexy.
They're very
Yeah.
very breathable. We'll say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't
It's
they
very
kinda
liberating
itchy?
when a breeze hits you wearing that thing, and air comes blowing through all the right areas. Oh, it feels so good.
And they're not itchy because they have like an inline in them which stops them being itchy.
Uh,
Because only the
Because I
outside's
was-
tartan, the inside has like a thing in it.
Because when I did Highland dancing, they made me wear a kilt, and it was itchy as hell.
See that because it didn't have the inline and like normal ones do, like it's
Hmm.
Probably.
they have like the inline like a skirt does to stop it from
Itching
being
your
itchy.
balls?
Which they're not skirts, they're kilts, but they have like kilts came about first, by the way. With many people thanking him for his service, and frankly, it felt like the only reason he wore that was to be in the spotlight, make it about him. I don't think you're supposed to do that at someone else's wedding. Jared, if he wants to wear that at his own wedding, fine. But the point of having a dress code at a wedding is so that no one will stand out too much.
Wow, she is so vain.
Yeah. What the group? I want to know what the
That
fucking
to
groom
me is
sees
a
in this
huge
cunt.
turn off. Anybody that is like that vain, I would be like, dude, divorce tomorrow, man. Never mind.
Yep.
Fuck it. Nope.
I want to know what the groom sees in there. That's what I want to know.
I would take that
Right?
marriage. I would take that marriage license and I would rip it up in front of my ex-spouse.
Depends on
Yeah.
depending on where the wedding was. They're not married until the officiant signs the license afterwards. So just tell the officiant don't sign it.
Eventually, the bride couldn't take it anymore and asked the veteran to leave.
Oh God.
Claims bad for doing it, but she claims she feels bad for doing it, but it didn't feel right just having him there. What an arsehole. Many people
Thank
took
you
the time
for
to
fighting my right to get married. Now please leave.
Yep.
Just saying.
Many people took the time to respond to her post, including several other members of the military. They agreed he was wrong to wear his uniform to her event. One said, "This is as a former. This is from a former army sergeant. Wearing formal military uniform at a civilian event is allowed per regulations. You have to be a special kind asshole not to wear it at a non-military event without specific permissions from the couple." So I wouldn't care though. If it was my wedding, I'd be like, yeah, he fights in the army. He does.
I like how it says there, this puts you in competition with the bride. It's like, oh, but never mind the groom. It's all about the bride. There's, the groom
Yep.
is fuck him,
Yeah.
Like I said, I would have showboated that. He would have been my token military guy. Be like, yeah, you know what? I am so cool. I got a guy in a uniform. Look at how
Yeah.
hot that man is. Look at
Yeah.
him. Yep, I would have just tokened the shit out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the
Woman feeling threatened by sharp dressed man. That's what the article should
Yep. Yep.
the reason for this is the same as wearing white to a wedding. This puts you in competition with the bride. However, he added this was a bit much. Just kick her out of the way to kick the guests out of the wedding. Yeah, wow.
I say,
Down.
say we
Daniel
find out
Paris.
who this woman is.
Oh, fuck.
Hmm?
Oh, fuck. I was going to mod him and then accidentally hit him.
Oh,
Sorry.
whoops.
Hold on.
He'll be
I
back.
think it.
Hang
Oh,
on,
dear.
I haven't even properly announced the wedding date.
Do you know how to unhide him?
Yeah, I've done it. I went to mod him and then accidentally hit him, and then unhit him.
Okay. I think we need to find out who this woman is, and considering this marriage is now pretty much over, we need to find out her next marriage. And the day the day of her next marriage, we all show up in flip flops, boxer shorts, wife beaters with a can of beer, and then just sit there in the front lane and burp.
Well, I didn't say. Well, he wasn't the groom. He was just a guest of the. He was just a family friend, I believe.
Right. So all of the guests, we show up. We show up with all the guests in tank tops and boxers, and yeah.
Yep. I suppose you just all
she
show
thinks
up underdressed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show up in a kilt. There you go. You like people being the center of attention? Well, there we go.
And you gotta show up drunk because there's no alcohol there. You can't get too drunk, so we gotta pre-drink.
No, you can't drink, so we show up. So we show up with bongs.
There we go.
Yeah, blind girl, you only need like one drink anyway, so what's it bad for you?
That's true.
I'm gonna pre-drink. I'll have to start at like 6 in the morning before I get drunk before I'm there.
I'm kind of a cheap drunk too, so that would work out.
Good. You know what? I thought guys liked it.
Oh, it wouldn't work.
Cheap drunks.
Hmm?
I thought guys kind of liked the fact that women can be cheap drunks. Like, I mean, who wants to spend $200 just getting their date drunk so they can fuck them? Like, I don't know.
Well,
man,
Think about your own fucking drink.
Well, no shit, especially considering here it costs like $10 minimum for one drink.
Yeah, there we go. And of course, women.
You can buy your own drink. I just like someone who keeps up with me.
Yeah, and women are gonna get those fruity cocktails because alcohol tastes like crap, and we don't want to, destroy our taste buds. So.
Yep.
Thing is, like, I like someone who can keep up with me. And there aren't many people that can.
Oh no,
keep up with me. That's the problem.
I buy this stuff near the house that.
Well, if a Scotsman couldn't take his alcohol, I'd be a little disappointed.
True. Yeah, Canadian not being able to handle too much alcohol, I think I'm okay.
Like, I usually drink. I could usually when I start drinking on like a Saturday, I don't finish till like 6 a.m. on the Sunday. So in the afternoon, like 8 p.m. and then just continue on until there's nothing left that I can't be arsed anymore. As the time I go say, there's a deal. You're up for a drinking competition then. Since we'll just do a stream where we drink till the first one to go.
You know what? The sad thing about this Bridezilla is that there's so many brides that aren't like that just give brides a bad name. Like, I read this one article, and there was this bride that was in, like, this really extravagant gown, and this autistic kid ran up to her and thought she was Cinderella. And so she actually stopped her wedding photos to do a photo shoot with this autistic kid pretending to be Cinderella. They did a bunch of photos with him, and then they ordered a carriage so they could have a day around the town, just like they were in a ball with a carriage and everything. It was really adorable, and it made national news. Yes, because the kid just stood there and was flapping his arms like my son would in front of this bride. And she was so honored to be thought of as so beautiful to be Cinderella that she walked away from her party that were doing professional photos for the wedding album and spent the day with this kid pretending to be Cinderella. I'm like, that is really cool. That is a woman that's a keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like at my wedding, it was actually my husband that was getting a little bit frustrated because there was like a couple of candles on the table that were not lit up, and he was a little upset by that. And I'm like, honey, just chill. Everybody's having fun. That's my biggest. That's what's important to me is if everybody else is having fun.
Exactly.
Like my current wife and I, the dress my wife wore cost her $30 at Walmart, and she had the dress for about 2 years before we got married, and she still has the dress because it's just this. It's this really soft fabric sundress. and she just wore a regular old dress to it.
She's
Mind you, we
practical.
went to the
I can
courthouse.
get behind that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
I
the
can get
thing is,
behind being
mind you, my wife and I got married at the courthouse, and then the reception was at IHOP of all things.
That's awesome.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's like I think my wedding cost me maybe $5,000 maximum because I didn't spend a whole lot on the dress. We got our rings at Walmart because it's just, I just can't fathom spending like $10,000 just for one day.
Yeah,
Well,
especially on a dress you're
yeah.
only going to wear once.
Exactly.
My wife's ring. Actually, I think my wife's ring was the most expensive thing out of everything, and that was only like $3,000. But she went ahead and appraised, and it's like a $10,000 ring because of the diamond and the cut and all that.
Mm.
But I bought the ring at a pawn shop.
Oh shit! I think I might have got myself into a freeway drinking competition now. Oh well.
Sweet.
A three-way and a drinking competition.
Yeah, Scotland versus England versus America.
Scotland wins.
Yeah, we're going to do it on stream apparently. So yeah, I'm up for that.
Uh-oh. I don't know if you guys should be on stream doing a drinking contest. Those can go bad. Just take it from my stream. You might not want to broadcast it.
Well, it might
I'm not
work.
good.
It might work in their favor because I'm a giggly drunk.
I concede I'm an asshole.
I've been drunk on your stream before, the blind girl, so I can't be. I'm not that bad, surely.
Oh, right. I'm supposed to feed you. Okay, I'll get you.
Scotty's not bad. Scotty's not bad. Unfortunately for me, I'd start thinking about every bad thing that's ever happened in my life, and I turned into an asshole. Oh, why are we sitting still, people?
Because it's the stream.
No, because it's fucking New Jersey is why.
The last cigarette smoked in England will put out in 2050, and Bristol's final smoker will quit in just 5 years, scientists claim. I don't believe this, somehow.
X the doubt.
Yeah. X. Last cigarette smoked will be in Derby in 2050, researchers have predicted. According to a new report, the current decline in smoking continues, and today's 7.4 million smokers will be reduced to zero in 30 years. Increased use of NHS services to help people quit, and the popularity of e-cigarettes and heated tobacco account for the decline. The Public Health England said vaping should be tried to quit smokers to reduce further rates, the Mirror reported. So I don't believe this. Anyway, it's probably about near the end anyway.
Well, no, I think it could be possible because I mean, I switched to vaping and it's been about I think 8 months since I last touched a cigarette.
So I don't see it dying outright though. I can see it becoming very rare maybe, but not dying outright.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can definitely see maybe vaping going on the rise, but cigarettes, on the other hand, I mean, they are because to be perfectly honest, with vaping, it can get really complicated because there's a lot of parts to your vape machine and stuff like that. But with smoking, it's like you just go in, buy a pack of cigarettes, and that's that.
And more stores give you a pack of matches with it.
Yep.
Anyway, we've been going on for 2 hours. It's chilling time. Blind girl.
Oh, I got a stream tonight at 8 o'clock, which is minus 4 GMT or whatever the fuck that means.
Just midnight GMT, I think.
Yeah, or the usual time. I think most of our viewers overlap anyways.
Yeah.
I couldn't be screwed with the link, so, just search Blind Trucking.
There we go.
As soon as the rest of the world adjusts for daylight time, it'll be back to 7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do that this week, aren't they? Yes.
A week from
Lindsay, anything to show?
Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, I have my channel. I do primarily entertainment related stuff, but I also do have a stream, a show called Operation Domination I do with Jenna P. We actually had a stream last night. We had a special guest tailed feature on our show. So we generally do our stream on Saturdays at 2 p.m. GMT. So yeah.
Pumpkin Chucker.
live, almost daily dash cams. As soon as I get word back, it should start back up tomorrow. As soon as I get word back on a unfortunate copyright strike I got yesterday, but
You got a
what are you gonna do?
copyright strike?
Yeah.
You call 'em bullshit?
Rowan, I know you don't shit
The
have anything to sell, do you?
Sorry?
The
I know
10
you don't have
minutes
anything
of
to
sound
sell.
I actually
Nah, I got nothing.
Anyway, next stream should probably be on Tuesday. If not, I might do one on one day. It depends. If I can be arsed, basically.
Whenever you can be bothered to do some news.
Must be between about 9 or 10 o'clock on my time, so that's 4 or 5
Early.
EST. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, cuz.